What's up guys, welcome back to another one of my YouTube videos, and in this YouTube video I am going to be doing Minecraft, so yeah.
And Europe feared losing its aviation industry, along with hundreds of thousands of jobs, to the United States, which already controlled more than 80% of the worldwide market. Britain had the Comet, BAC-111, and Trident. France had the Caravelle, and in March 1969, the two countries also introduced the Concorde, the world's first supersonic airliner. Impressive, but none of these aircraft could rival Boeing's popular jets or meet the growing demand for mass air travel. Europe's only hope was unity. Out of that 1967 meeting came the A300 project, led by French engineer Roger Bataille. He was joined by Henry Ziegler, Franz Joseph Strauss, and Felix Krat, later remembered as the fathers of Airbus. In May of 1969, France and West Germany signed the launch agreement for the A300. Britain had planned to supply Rolls-Royce engines, but withdrew a few years later, still hurt by the failure of the Concorde. Germany stepped up to cover 50% of the costs, seeing a chance to rebuild its passenger aviation industry after World War II, while France paid the other half. Technical director Roger Bataille divided the work across Europe. France handled the cockpit and central fuselage. Germany built the forward and rear sections. The Dutch supplied wing parts, and Spain later added the tailplane. As Bataille later explained, he wanted to use all the available talents and capacities without worrying about the color of the flag or what language was spoken. However, midway through development, Bataille realized a 300-seat jet might be too ambitious, so he secretly designed a smaller 250-seat version. Once revealed, it became the A300B. Its biggest advantage was that it could use less powerful engines already available, crucial after Rolls-Royce's withdrawal left the project without engines. The A300B was smaller, lighter, and cheaper to run than the American DC-10 and Lockheed L1011 TriStar. It had a slimmer fuselage, a shorter length, and was 25 tons lighter than planned. A raised cabin floor added cargo space, while new wing designs boosted efficiency. But there was one irony. Airbus was created to free Europe from U.S. dependence, yet its first plane relied on American-made GE engines. To keep it partly European, Airbus partnered with the French company Snecma to help build them. In the early years, Airbus almost collapsed, with money tight and airlines doubtful. Across the Atlantic, Boeing dismissed Airbus as no real threat, focusing on the 747, a mistake that gave the Europeans room to grow. On September 3, 1970, Air France signed a letter of intent to buy 6 A300s. For Airbus, it wasn't just the first order, it was proof that Europe could rise, and the beginning of a rivalry that would change aviation forever. Fun fact, Airbus uses a special numbering system to identify its planes. After the model, like A310, a 3-digit code follows. The first shows the series, the second the engine maker, and the third the engine version. For example, A310-321 means Series 300, Pratt & Whitney engines, version 1. Work on the A300 had been underway for years. But Airbus itself was not officially born until December 1970, when France's Aerospatiale and Germany's Deutsche Airbus formed a partnership, each taking a 50% stake. The headquarters were first set up in Paris before moving to Toulouse 4 years later. On October 28, 1972, the A300 took its first test flight, 1 month ahead of schedule. Originally designed for 250 seats, Airbus stretched the fuselage to fit 270 after feedback from Air France. This upgraded version, the A300B2, entered service May 23, 1974. Soon after, Airbus worked with Korean Airlines on a longer-range version called the A300B4. In 1974, Korean Airlines ordered 4 of them, making it Airbus's first non-European customer. The A300B4 became the B4-100, followed by the B4-200, which added an extra fuel tank and greater capacity. In total, 561 Airbus A300s were built, serving airlines around the world, a major milestone that firmly established Airbus in the aviation market. Fun fact, to test its planes, Airbus formed an international team of pilots. Bernard Ziegler, son of co-founder Henry Ziegler, organized the A300's first flights and recruited top veterans from France, Britain, and Spain to make it a truly European effort. To meet demand for a smaller aircraft, Airbus launched the A310 on July 7, 1978. Swiss Air and Lufthansa placed their first orders, and the plane took its maiden flight on April 3, 1982. At 7 meters shorter than the A300 and fitted with smaller wings, the A310 was built for efficiency and range. This project notably marked Britain's full return to Airbus. To secure wing production, the UK provided a £50 million loan, and in January 1979, British Aerospace took a 20% stake in the company. France and Germany's shares dropped to 37.9% each, while Spain held the remainder. The A310 could carry 218 passengers and fly up to 5,000 miles. Impressive, and far beyond the Boeing 737. The plane also pioneered new technology like carbon fiber parts, winglets, and a modern glass cockpit where electronic displays replaced many of the old analog dials. The design was later adapted across all Airbus aircraft, making it easier and safer for pilots to fly different models. But the A310 also faced tragedies. In July 1992, Thai Airways Flight 311 crashed into the mountains of Nepal after a navigation error and poor weather, killing all 113 people on board. Aeroflot Flight 593 ended in disaster in March 1994 when an Airbus A310 crashed into the Siberian mountains. The shocking cause? The captain let his children sit at the controls. His 15-year-old son unknowingly switched off the autopilot, and the crew struggled too late to recover. Within minutes, the jet spiraled out of control, killing all 75 people on board. Sadly, this remains one of the most preventable airline crashes in aviation history. And in June 2009, Yamenia Flight 626 crashed into the Indian Ocean after stalling from improper controls. Of 153 people, only a 12-year-old girl survived, clinging to debris for 13 hours. Her mother had helped her hold on, but tragically did not survive the crash. Just 255 A310s were built, but one gained fame in the 2013 movie World War Z, where Brad Pitt blows up the plane with a grenade to stop zombies. Funnily enough, some airlines removed the crash scene for passengers watching World War Z on board their aircraft. The A310 paved the way for the A300-600, a stretched model with more cabin space, redesigned wings, and simpler flaps that cut operating costs by 8% compared to rivals. It first flew in July 1983 and entered service a year later, carrying up to 345 passengers over 4,660 miles. Airbus built 313 of them, and nearly 50 years after the first A300 took flight, many are still in service today. But the A300's story is also marked by tragedy. It has been involved in 77 accidents and incidents, claiming over 1,100 lives. In 1994, China Air Flight's Flight 140 was attempting to land when takeoff mode was accidentally triggered. The pilots tried to push the aircraft down, but with autopilot engaged, it kept climbing until it stalled and crashed, killing 264 people. Only 7 passengers survived. In 2001, American Airlines Flight 587 crashed in New York, just 2 months after 9/11, fueling fears of another terrorist attack. Investigators later found the cause was the first officer's excessive rudder inputs, which tore the tail off the aircraft. The A300 was also caught in violence. 36 hijackings and criminal attacks claimed more than 300 lives. Some ended in survival, like Thai Airways Flight 620 in 1986, when a Yakuza gangster set off a grenade mid-flight. The plane landed safely, though 62 people were injured. Others ended in tragedy, like Iran Air Flight 655 in 1988, which was mistakenly shot down by the U.S. Navy after confusing it with an Iranian F-14 Tomcat. All 290 people on board were killed. One of the most dramatic moments came in 1994, when Air France Flight 8969 was hijacked by terrorists planning to crash into the Eiffel Tower. French special forces stormed the aircraft, killing the hijackers and saving everyone on board. The rescue later inspired the 2010 film, The Assault. The Airbus A300 was the world's first twin-engine wide-body airliner, a bold shift away from giants like the 4-engine Boeing 747. Boeing later responded with the 767, which outsold the A300. Yet the A300's breakthrough proved Airbus could not only compete, it ignited a rivalry with Boeing that would shape the future of aviation itself. In the late 80s, airlines asked for bigger, longer-range jets, but Airbus went the other way. They rolled out the
You've got a big day, and you need to smell fresh. That's why the all-new Unstoppables gives your clothes a 24-hour non-stop freshness. So no matter how long the day goes, you
can't stop this power, this walk, this pose, this strut, this look, this talk.
Unstoppables fresh. Smell unstoppable.
The A320, a narrow-body jet that first flew in 1987 and entered service with Air France the next year, seating 150 to 186 passengers and flying over 4,000 miles. It looked like a risky move at the time. But the gamble paid off. The A320 became a revolution in the skies, introducing fly-by-wire controls that replaced heavy mechanical systems with electronic ones. Airbus embraced the technology across all its aircraft, with Boeing slowly following suit, but preferring to maintain more manual overrides instead of electronic ones. This was only the start. The A320 would go on to break records, dominate short and medium-haul travel, and challenge Boeing like never before. Fun fact, in 2009, U.S. Airways Flight 1549 made history when Captain Sully Sullenberger landed an A320 on the Hudson River after both engines failed from a bird strike. With just seconds to make a life-or-death decision, he saved all 155 on board, a moment forever known as the Miracle on the Hudson. After the A320, Airbus aimed higher. In June 1987, they launched not one, but 2 new wide-body jets, the twin-engine A330 and the 4-engine A340. Both shared the same fuselage, wings, and cockpit design, saving Airbus an incredible $500 million in development costs. It also meant pilots could switch between models with very little extra training. The A330 entered service in 1994 and was built for efficiency, with an impressive range of about 7,300 miles. It also offered airlines a choice of 3 engines, including the Rolls-Royce Trent 700, designed specifically for it. The A340 entered service 1 year earlier and stretched the limits of distance even further, offering over 8,400 miles of range, enough to connect almost any 2 major cities in the world. Then came the A340-500, and this one was insane. It could fly more than 10,000 miles non-stop, with pilot rest cabins for journeys lasting up to 18 hours. It was built to push long-haul flying to the extreme. Its sibling, the A340-600, was even longer, 75 meters, with room for up to 370 passengers, making it the largest of the family. Passengers loved the quiet cabins, while airlines enjoyed fuel savings of up to 25% compared to rivals. Airbus had skyrocketed from just 411 orders in 1984 to over 1,700 with more than 100 customers by 1990. The A330 went on to outsell its siblings by a wide margin, 1,637 built and still in production, compared to just 380 A340s, which are no longer made. Yet the two jets carried very different legacies. The A330, while hugely successful, has faced tragedies. In June 2009, Air France Flight 447 from Rio de Janeiro to Paris ran into severe storms. Inconsistent airspeed readings caused the pilots to lose control, stalling the aircraft before it plunged into the Atlantic. All 228 on board were killed. Often called the Titanic of the skies, it was the deadliest accident in Air France's history and the worst ever involving an Airbus A330. In May 2010, Afrikia Airways Flight 771 crashed near Tripoli, killing 103 people. Miraculously, a 9-year-old Dutch boy survived, though he sadly lost his parents and brother. Meanwhile, the A340 has flown more than 600 million passengers without a single fatal accident, a record that remains remarkable to this day. Behind these aircraft stood Roger Bettet. Co-founder Franz Josef Strauss said, if one person deserves the title Father of Airbus, it's Roger Bettet. Fun fact, on June 16, 1993, an A340-200 nicknamed the World Ranger flew from the Paris Air Show to New Zealand in 21 hours, 32 minutes, then back in 21 hours, 46 minutes after a brief stop. At the time, it was the longest non-stop flight ever by an airliner. Just as things were going well, the aircraft industry hit turbulence in 1991 with the first Gulf War. Passenger numbers dropped, and airlines began canceling orders. Airbus was hit hard, but they stayed determined to grow. After all, Airbus had just made its first operating profit the previous year. They were even discussing plans for the world's biggest passenger jet, the double-deck A3XX. But those dreams had to wait. In March 1993, Airbus instead introduced the A321, the first addition to the A320 family. It was a short to medium range, narrow-body jet carrying 185 to 236 passengers. For the first time, final assembly took place in Germany rather than France, following a dispute between the two countries. And Lufthansa, the German aviation group, became the launch customer in 1994. Over the next 30 years, the A321 evolved dramatically. Its maximum takeoff weight grew by 20%, its seating capacity increased, and its range more than doubled. With 3,500 built, the A321 has become one of the most successful members of the A320 family. And then came the A321neo, a jet that would change everything. But more on that later. Just months after the A321's first flight, Airbus unveiled the 124-seat A319, built in Germany like the A321. It was a shortened version of the A320, so short that its wingspan was actually wider than its length. Swissair received the first A319 in April 1996. By the following year, the jet had set a class record for transatlantic flights, covering 4,129 miles non-stop from Hamburg to Winnipeg in 9 hours and 5 minutes. Designed as a narrow-body, short to mid-range jet, it quickly found success with low-cost airlines like EasyJet. Over 1,500 units have been built, and it is the most popular of the A320 family, used by governments and as private jets. One of the rarest Airbus models, and one you will not see at your local passenger airport, is the A300-600 ST, better known as the Beluga. This super transporter was specially built to carry airplane parts and other oversized cargo. Named after a whale, its bulky shape makes the comparison clear. Standing over 17 meters tall, this giant of the skies can carry up to 47,000 kilograms in its huge cargo hold. In 1997, it even set a world record for carrying the largest volume payload ever aboard an aircraft. a massive chemical tank. Before Airbus could even build the Beluga, it had to rely for years on modified Boeing Super Guppies to move aircraft parts, leading to the joke, every Airbus is delivered on the wings of a Boeing. In total, only 5 Belugas were produced, all operated by Airbus. In 1999, Airbus began work on a smaller version of the A320, nicknamed the Baby Bus. But after 9/11, demand for new planes collapsed, and many A318 orders were canceled. Despite setbacks, it finally took flight in January 2002. The smallest Airbus narrowbody seated 107 to 132 passengers and could fly up to 3,570 miles. What made it special was its certification for steep approaches, up to 5.5 degrees compared to the usual 3. Tested at London City Airport with its short runway and steep descent, the A318 proved it could handle the challenge. While other A320 family members sold in the thousands, only 80 318s were built. The reason was simple. It was too small and costly to rival regional jets, yet too big to secure a profitable niche. From the smallest to the largest, on December 19, 2000, Airbus officially launched the A3XX, soon renamed the A380. Built to challenge the Boeing 747, it became the world's largest passenger jet and the only full-length double-decker. Dubbed the flagship of the 21st century, it wowed the aviation industry with 50 firm orders from major airlines across 5 continents, including Emirates, Singapore Airlines, Air France, Qantas, and Virgin Atlantic. After all, who wouldn't want the world's largest and most advanced airline? The first prototype rolled out in Toulouse in January 2005 and flew that April, but production delays sent costs soaring from an early estimate of 1.5 billion pounds to a staggering 25 billion pounds by 2016. Singapore Airlines took the first delivery in 2007. 2 versions were planned, the A380-800 passenger model and the A380F freighter. The passenger version could seat up to 853 passengers in an all-economy layout, with a range of 9,782
Well, you know
miles.
your options. Okay, we
No, I
have
don't.
pancakes, French toast, bacon. I
But
have,
that's breakfast food.
I have
It's
little pizzas I can
12:35.
make. Yep, I have little pizzas in there.
Okay.
Okay, what?
Little pizzas, I guess.
Okay, well, you'll have to wait till I get back and through that grading outside.
Okay.
Enough to fly non-stop from Hong Kong to New York. The freighter, designed to carry 150 tons of cargo, was canceled so Airbus could focus on the passenger model. Inside, the A380 offered unmatched comfort, 40% more floor space than the 747, 50% less cabin noise, bigger bins and larger windows, and more headroom. It set a new standard for passenger comfort and remains one of the most advanced aircraft ever built. One of the most dramatic moments in its history came in 2010, when Qantas Flight 32 suffered a Rolls-Royce engine failure just 4 minutes after takeoff. It was a terrifying situation, but the crew landed safely and miraculously. All 469 people on board survived. Even more incredible, the A380 has since flown over 800,000 flights and 7.3 million hours without a single fatality. An astonishing record for the world's largest.
Cascade Platinum Plus has the grease-fighting power of Dawn to remove tough, stuck-on foods. Cascade Platinum Plus.
Bitch, get the back, don't touch me, bitch.
everyone, this is your daily dose of internet.
Stretch your legs up, pick your legs up.
Whoa! Whoa! Damn!
What's that out there?
That truck is a kidnap truck.
Built myself a one-handed bottle opener.
Okay, so why did he suddenly get super evil?
Boy, you and this bum. Hey.
Yo, we in Paris doing baguette mode. Oui. Bonjour.
I guess this is a pretty smart way to fix a car.
معاكم اللورد الصخرة.
They set up a volleyball court right in the middle of this river. These garbage men love this teddy bear so much that they put on their truck.
Bye.
They worked as a team to open the refrigerator. He somehow got scared of his own tail. You can see the moment when he realizes that Mom will always show up. For some reason, his bee was seen standing on his back legs.
Check out how powerful this thing is. I'm gonna shoot that nozzle that's hanging down from that grill over there. Oh, missed.
This guy casually walked inside at the absolute perfect time.
Platinum Plus has the grease-fighting power of Dawn to remove tough, stuck-on foods. Cascade Platinum Plus.
No razor might do the job, but Gillette Labs treats my face like a passion project. Tell him, Dad.
Meet your new Dell PC with Intel inside. With all-day battery life to power through your to-dos, so you have extra free time.
How to use AutoQuote Explorer. First, start a quote. Then, compare rates from up.
So I guess Japan has the fanciest soda drinks in the world. He somehow didn't read the directions properly.
Well, today, Mr. Jingles is with his friend Ro. He's got many animal friends, Mr. Jingles. He likes Ro, he does.
I have never seen a typhoon that looked like this.
So I parked as far away as possible so no one would park beside me. And this guy decides to park this garbage literally a foot away. Literally a foot away from me. He had this whole parking lot. Jeez, man. Just because you drive a Lambo doesn't mean you can park wherever you want.
The frame rate of the phone camera makes the guitar strings look really weird. So I guess we now have drones that can fly and swim at the same time. I think she might have found heaven.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Wait a minute. What is that? She really be having the nerve to look at me crazy whenever I accidentally trip on her. But it's like, girl.
That's that fan making that noise.
Girl. Nobody.
No.
You not. You sound like cops.
What is that noise then?
Like you think she sound like
fan making a noise.
No, it's that noise.
That's all I hear is the fan.
What about that noise over there?
No, listen.
That noise.
That's a dehumidifier.
Yeah, so that noise.
Okay, but listen. Now listen.
Nothing.
Right there.
Nothing. That's just the fan.
That's what I said. The fan making a noise.
Yeah, and it's not making one because it's the fan.
Well, it's still making a noise. Alright, let me see if my stuff is put in the dryer.
Okay.
Their basketball hoops got taken down as punishment for these.
Essentials right here. Operation. Best game.
Aspen Hotel Season 2 has arrived.
Hell will rise!
And to celebrate, we threw one hell of a party.
What?
War is coming. You prove that angels can be killed. You think they won't come for you? And when the first shot fires, whose side do you want to be on?
Okay.
Yes, do I want the one with lights up on top? I think it's this one you want to put up. Ah, Sebastian.
I don't know.
We want lights around the top. That was part of the pretty. There enough lights on the ground. Okay. So we put this up. I don't know where we're going to put this. I have an extra in case we need it. Oh, that would come out back. That one out back. Tomorrow we're going to work down here with this half room. All straightened up. It'll look beautiful.
Okay. After lunch. This will be tomorrow. Hey, Cal.
Happy Thanksgiving. Compass is thankful for so many things. Bananas. Tim. But not Tim's wife.
I do love switching things up. New cities, New Jersey numbers, new looks. A little change always helps take my game to a new level. So why not a new phone? Google Pixel 10? Woo! That's the number. entry day tomorrow? I'll be ready.
Piracy is the logical solution.
If buying isn't owning, then piracy isn't stealing, which is why piracy is no longer seen as digital theft reserved for risk takers and your plug who knew a sketchy website. Now it's easier.
No, actually though, 2025, pirating like a show, movie, or professional sports match is so normal. Like to go on a weird website and just watch it, like effectively illegally. You remember the old DVDs that you would put in, like DVD player VHS tapes even, for people that are like older than me. And it would say before the movie started, it would be like FBI warning. Piracy is a crime that could be fined up to blank and blank with this amount of years in prison. This is like a serious, because like people would go to movie theaters and like film movies and then upload them. And the rips were terrible. And people would watch that. Now people just rip a show straight off of a fucking streaming service and just upload it onto a sketchy website. And people just watch that. Like it's crazy how normal it is now, I guess. Do they even crack down on that? Like, is piracy something that people get actually charged with anymore? I feel like yeah, but not, maybe not as much. Because it's hard to track and there's so many people that do it.
And more convenient than ever. TV, movies, sports, live events.
Like, it sucks to say, I mean, it not sucks, but one in the chat if you've pirated something. I'm not advocating for this, but like, whether it be a UFC fight, a Jake Paul fight, yeah, most people, because I think the term pirating isn't what it used to be. The term pirating now is like, I went on a website to watch a fucking UFC fight for free. I went on this instead, like, most of the time that's what people are probably meaning when they say pirating. It used to be like, yeah, I bought a rip off a guy who was illegally recording in a movie theater.
Whatever you want for free. It's become so normalized that piracy sites are getting more yearly visits than every streaming service combined. But this makes sense when you consider that every facet of the entertainment industry has been destroyed by corporations. Even if you're not a sports fan, you will relate to this struggle because
how every day the sport you want to watch is on a different platform because the one company didn't buy everything. It's like now the NBA or like the MLB, it's like, okay, well, it's on this one day and this another day and then this another day. Oh my god, it's such a fucking pain in the ass. That, and then it's like, Netflix used to be, bro, anybody remember 2017 Netflix? My god, that was peak. Because you would fucking load that bitch up. It had so many shows and movies. It was like the only thing. Now you didn't have to use fucking on demand. You didn't have to pay for a show. It was awesome. And then it was like, oh, HBO Max or Hulu's out. They'd be like, oh, that's kind of cool. They have even more stuff. And then it got to a point where like there's 9 streaming services that constantly battle for different shows. So it's like you can't own one to watch what you want now. Now you have to own 5. Because you have one show on each network that you want to watch, and they're purposefully pulling from other people because they're trying to get customers to transfer over. It's so stupid.
You need to see how insanely difficult it is just to watch a basketball game. I live in Oklahoma City, and I really wanted to follow the Thunder in the entire Western Conference.
Every single basketball day is probably on a different network. There's a network that probably owns like Monday, Thursday, and then there's ones that own like Thursday or like weekends. I don't know basketball days generally, but like it's absurd the lengths you have to go to watch professional sports now.
I bought NBA League Pass for $110 for the season. Silly me for thinking that one streaming service would have every game.
No, that only has 3 days a week probably. $110.
Pass only lets you watch games that are out of market, which meant I couldn't actually watch the Thunder games because I live in Oklahoma City and those rights belong to the FanDuel Sports Network. And if the game was nationally televised, that was exclusively broadcast on ESPN or TNT, which meant I needed a cable package or another app like Hulu Live or Sling.
No. I will stand by though, cable TV is dog shit. Bro, they try to loop that shit in whenever you get a TV, you get a Wi-Fi package, they're like, yo, you wanna loop in cable? It's only like fucking $200 a month. No, because who the fuck watches cable anymore? Outside of outside of 4 sports, no one watches cable. Who the fuck's like, yeah, I'm gonna go see what's on A&E right now. Oh, The Sopranos is on at 9 in the morning. What?
To catch the games literally happening in my city. As of right now, if you want to guarantee that you will be able to watch all of...
Old people, yeah. Somebody said my grandparents. Yeah, old people. No, I feel like more and more, there's probably stats on that. I would say the average Gen Z person does not own cable.
The NBA games in the US, when they are actually happening live, you need to have ESPN, which requires you to have Hulu plus Live TV, or YouTube TV, or Sling Orange TV, or with an upgraded cable package. Then you need Peacock, which is $11 per month. Then you need Prime Video, which is $9 per month, and ABC, which would come with your basic local cable subscription. The cheapest way to get...
Bro, it's like that's just to watch one basketball game. I think like pay-per-view, it's a little bit different, so it's like maybe not as annoying because there is paywalls. But I remember I was trying to watch a UFC fight with my friends, and he had ESPN Plus, and that let us. He had to sign into that, and that let us watch the undercard, like not the main card. But then when it got to the main card, you had to pay for that. But he already pays for ESPN Plus, so then he's paying for a subscription, and then having to pay on top of that to watch the main card and not the prelims.
Guarantee every game would be $66.
Okay.
Okay, good morning. How are you doing today? We're fine, thank you. Good. What seems to be the problem? Right there. Just to put into perspective how long it's actually taken for GTA 6 to come out, here is everything that has happened since they released GTA 5. Trump was elected not once but twice in the span that it's taken them to release this game. Ariana Grande went from being an unknown artist to one of the biggest pop stars in the world. We saw Vine Guy in social media apps like Snapchat and Instagram really started to gain popularity. And YouTubers like Jake and Logan Paul saw the rise of their YouTube careers to the point where they are basically millionaires. And the criticism might be that 30 more movies were been made and we only got GTA 6. Just to put it
That's a shame.
Gemini, let me suggest some good, easy-to-share recipes from this article.
The beef bourguignon can be served family style. Does that sound like the kind of thing you're looking for?
I'm in the mood for something Toronto-y. Thanks, Gemini.
We bought 74 phones for $1.60 each, and in this video, we'll test them out, see what's left on them, and see if they even work. Now you know we found all kinds of crazy things on phones before, truly unhinged stuff, but never for as cheap as $1.60 per phone. So I have no idea what kind of nonsense we're gonna find this stuff. Let me go ahead and dump all the phones out. Okay guys, I have everything out of the box. Look at this. This is way too many phones. I want to start here with the smartphones. These always have the best stuff on them. All right, let's check it. Okay guys, I have an LG phone here. First off, what is this case? What kind of nonsense is going on here? And then I look at the background, Cat Loki, I think. Alright. Oh god, there's a zoomed in version. But look at that, it's not even fun. That's awesome. Let's look around and see what we can find. Okay, for some reason, the first thing I thought to open here was voicemails, and I immediately see a bunch of them. I'm just going to click on one, this one here from Papa.
Give me a call, please. We need to chat. Bye-bye.
I guess it's whoever owns this phone. I guess it's her grandfather. And these voicemails are from 2021 and 2020. I don't know, this phone looks a little too old to be used that recently, but I don't know what it is yet. Hold on, let me look into like what kind of device we're looking at. This is an LG Tribute, and it was apparently released in 2014. You were using this phone for 8 years? That's kind of impressive, not gonna lie. We got a bunch more voicemails from Papa. I gotta listen to all these now. Hold on.
Happy anniversary, you turkey. Bye-bye.
Papa out here calling people turkeys. That's just not nice. Alright, let's check out our text message. Yeah, sure enough, there are so many texts. Which makes sense if you're using this phone for 8 years. Although, the earliest text is from 2017, so maybe they got this phone from someone else. That's wild either way. Nice. Here's a Dad Cell. Talking about McDonald's order. Happy Meal for me, Coke. Mom, Big Mac Meal Coke. Oh, we got Mom Cell as well. Come home, please. I don't like the weather. Oh, I found the actually text message from the dad call. Let's see. No Hot Wheels. One from McDonald's, I assume. Can we have Panda Express for dinner? Oh, that was like 5 days later. These guys are getting too much fast food. I shouldn't be talking about this. I shouldn't say. I was gonna check the browser history, but yeah, welcome to Chrome. Oh, wait, they did use their default browser, so they didn't use Chrome, they used this instead. Oh, okay, I found some information. They're using Blackboard, which I'm pretty sure is like a college thing you can use to like check grades and stuff. And they went to a Owens Community College. Let me look up where that is. What? This is definitely it. I see it here. They're in Ohio. Why do half these phones come from Ohio? It's probably not even close to that many. It just feels that way. Yo! This person's trying to read Trigon? Like the manga. That's rad. Either way, let's move on to the next phone. Little ant crawling around. Where did it come from? It must have come out of one of the phones. That was weird. Anyway, let's move on to the next phone. Alright, up next we got this Samsung A something it looks like. It's like the S23, but like the budget line one. I also love this like heart thing. It's like made of plastic. It's really on there though. At this point, it's part of the phone. Let's see if it powers up. Oh, it's turning on. Yes! That's awesome. Whoa, that's a crazy looking background. Oh, too many unlock attempts. Try again in 30 seconds. Yep. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to be able to get into this phone, but hey, I'm just glad it works at all. Alright, up next we have one of my favorite phones in this entire lot. I think this is an S23, and it looks immaculate. I mean, I'm kind of just amazed. It's got some sputter or whatever that is right there. Let's just come off this completely. Let's see if it actually turns on. Yep, it's immediately booting up. That's amazing. Wow, screen's working and everything. I feel like there's gotta be a catch. This is too nice of a phone to be in this long. Welcome. Okay, that catch is in its factory reset, but if it works, that's a sick find for I don't know how much we paid for this lot. Alright guys, this just got crazy. So I ended up doing a bit more research into both what we paid and how much these are actually worth, these S23s here. So as you can see here from these two listings, just these two listings, you know, maybe there's many other examples of them selling for cheaper, but here's one for $290 that sold, and here's one for $340. These are just locked too. These aren't even like the unlocked versions, which you would presume would sell for even higher. But here's the wild part. We only paid $119 for these 74 phones. That means that we got each phone for about $1.60. And it means that we made a ridiculous, like, $280-something profit, potentially, off of this S23. Oh my god, that's insane. Normally, we don't really buy phones for profit. We buy them because we want to see the crazy stuff on them. We just love seeing untested phones. That's what we do on this channel. But in this case, this phone is a bargain. I have no idea why they threw this in this line. It's amazing that we got this phone for this price. Alright, up next we have this very clean-looking AT&T phone. I have no idea what brand this is.
Let's turn it on and find out. And it is turned on and working. Let's see, is there a passcode? Oh, God dang it. Honestly, the real tragedy here is that without being able to get into the device, I don't even know what this is. Like, there's not really any identifiable features. It just looks like generic phone. So let me know in the comments if you know what phone this is. All right, up next, here's a really interesting one. We have an iPhone. This looks like a 4. I actually barely can see that because the brightness looks like it's at the lowest level, but it's already on, which is amazing. Usually these things like can't hold a charge at all, so I'm already impressed. Pascal, yes! And going back to the home screen, it looks like we have a girlfriend, boyfriend, and their dog. Let me change that background just so we don't have to blur the entire dog looking at everything else on this device. There, we've got the very nostalgic looking grassy field. And actually, taking a closer look at this device, it seems like there's a screen protector on it. Oh yeah, look at that. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, you can see like the areas where the screen protector wasn't covering up are still a little grimy, but the screen itself, like where it was covering up, it looks amazing. All right, let's look at the general settings here and just, what kind of phone is this? All right, it didn't want to tell me what kind of phone it is in the settings, but I looked up the model number on the back of the phone. This is an OG iPhone 4. That's awesome. And it looks like we're on software version 6.1.3, which was released in March of 2013. So it definitely doesn't work with the modern iOS features. All right, but back to the actual home screen here. Like, the first thing I noticed is that a bunch of the apps are in these folders here, which I love. What do we got here? We got productivity, we got the calendar. On Wednesday at 2 p.m., we got man combing with dog. Wait, does that say 2016? iPhone 4 in 2016? That's awesome. Yeah, I just had to look it up to make sure. The iPhone 4 came out in 2010. 6 years this guy was rocking this bad boy, and it looks like this good. I'm impressed. We also got notes. Ava, Katie, Elizabeth, smiley face. All right. I got you. I am your new owner. Your password is 7. Oh. All right. Under utilities, we got like a calculator and stuff. We got any like maps data? Michigan State Pavilion. What do we got on the weather? Blissfield.
Lux Cravings boxes. Here's the $5 box, indulgent, the $7 box, extravagant, and the $9 box, indescribable with the new steak and poblano pork quesadilla. Choose your Lux Cravings box, only at Taco Bell.
Smiling first can help someone find the courage to do the same.
Chevy Silverado, America's most dependable full-size pickup. And Chevrolet.
Cosmo?
Giannis!
I tried putting my kids in a house, and well, I might not use it.
Sold our, where is this? Michigan. It's all added up. This is a Michigan phone, I guess. What do we got in music? What? Why is there no actual music app? It's just videos and password. All right, photos. Gotta have some good stuff. Oh, 91 in the camera roll. Let's go. Yo, we got pictures of the dog from earlier. That's awesome. Dog's going for a ride. What is happening here? Doll, like, hanging from a light? What am I looking at? Yeah, there's a bunch of photos. It's mostly just very wholesome pictures of, like, a dad taking a bunch of photos of the dog going to different events and stuff like that. So, all right. Do we have anything in the actual music app? Let's see. Kids Bop 27. Yo! Wait, the only thing on here is Kids Bop? Is this like a dad's phone and then he like gave it to his daughter or something? I'm very confused. I guess let's check out our messages. We got a hi to Laura that failed to deliver. And that's it. Yeah, pretty cool phone. Let's move on to the next one. Alright, up next we have a Verizon Motorola Droid of some kind. Let's see if it turns on. This is a very like... That was rad. It was like a transformer. Well, I was gonna say that the phone, it's a very skinny phone. Like, I don't know, I feel like phones today.
He's having a bloody pizza.
As far as I know, she's running a meth lab out of her basement. She's a kindergartner.
So we're just gonna do nothing? We're just gonna watch her die?
Yeah.
That's good news. No.
Do I need to take it?
This video was made possible by CuriosityStream. Subscribe to their Nebula Bundle deal at curiositystream.com/Wendover to watch an exclusive companion video to this. It's really just 4 lanes, a median, and some on and off ramps. The interstate highway system is no engineering marvel, no unprecedented undertaking, no massively innovative concept. It's a simple idea, one that arose since the earliest days of the automobile. It's not exciting, which is why it often goes so underappreciated. Take the interstates away, though, and you have a weaker nation. You have one with dramatically starker regional divides, one with increased decentralization. More specifically, you have a nation absent of a noticeable portion of the late 1900s economic development and transformation. These words, like the system itself, still aren't exciting. But put more simply, if you are an American, regardless of whether you use the interstate system, your life would be noticeably different in a reality without the interstates. It's a single collection of roadways with an influence so great that it permeates into every American's life. It all started here, 102 years ago. 79 vehicles departed from the White House's ellipse at 11:15 a.m. on July 7th, 1919. They snaked through the district streets before crossing into Maryland and stopping for lunch in Rockville at 12:30 p.m. The coupling on one of their kitchen trailers broke, and a car's fan bells too, but...
Well, that's gonna be the end of this video, and bye.